how does expressing love for Allah lead to greater devotion and sincerity? There's two things here. There's the idea of expressing love for Allah, and then there's the matter of how does it lead to greater devotion. So what is expressing love for Allah? I believe that many people, unfortunately, they don't take the cue from Allah. They take the cue from their own understanding of love. In the Quran, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Qul," say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "In kuntum tuhibbuna Allah, fattabi'uni yuhibbukum Allah." Say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you love Allah, then follow me. In other words, follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yuhibbukum Allah, Allah will love you. I think many people still think of the idea of, I love God, therefore God loves me, end of story. The Quran doesn't give it to us like that. It's not just a two-way street, but there's three individuals in this relationship, with our relationship with Allah. There's ourselves, there's our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then there's Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, while we don't need an intermediary, still the relationship has three, right? There is Allah who we love, but Allah gave us a means to love Him. Allah gave us a way to love Him. Allah gave us a way to express love to Him. And what is that? It's ittiba'u sunnati Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, following in the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there a love beyond this or besides this, like loving Allah just for loving Allah, not in the way of necessarily following the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yes, of course. But this is a Quranic verse, and Allah tells us, "In kuntum tuhibbun Allah," if you love Allah, fattabi'uni. So when we think of loving Allah, this is how we should think about it, because this is how Allah speaks about it in the Quran. So we express our love for Allah by following the lifestyle, the instructions, the teachings, the love habits, the remembrance, all of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as a result of doing that, Allah will love us. So Allah suspends His love for us upon our following of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. In essence, this is how we can express, and how, as the question read also, how it would lead to greater devotion and sincerity, because our love for Allah must motivate us to living our life according to the way that Allah wants us to live our life. And that is devotion, and that is sincerity, right? So it works hand in hand. But a theoretical love, oh, I love Allah, I love Allah, I love Allah, I really, really love Allah, but it doesn't reflect in my life, it doesn't reflect in my deeds, it doesn't reflect in my words, it doesn't reflect in my akhlaq. These are empty statements, right? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses us in the Quran, it's always Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. But He always accompanies, not always, but most of the time, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu is accompanied by Wa amilu salihat. Alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Iman is an act of the heart. A'malu salihat are acts of the limbs. But naturally, what is in the heart will reflect on the limbs. For if what is in the heart does not reflect on the limbs, it places a question mark on what is really in the heart then, in any case. A person who says, I really love fishing. I really, really love fishing. You say, okay, mashallah. So when do you fish? Where do you fish? With who do you fish? What type of fish do you catch? I don't catch fish. I've never fished before. I don't go with anyone. I don't have fishing buddies. I've never caught a fish in my life before. So you'll start thinking, okay, so what do you mean you love fishing? Do you watch other people catch fish? Do you read about catching fish? What connection do you have to fishing that you claim to be loving fishing? The person says, no, I just love fishing. That's all. I love the idea of fishing. You would immediately know, look, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. They may think they love fishing, but they don't know the first thing about fishing. They may go and fish one day and discover that they've got no interest in fishing whatsoever. So a lot of this is like many believers today. We claim to love Allah. We claim to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We claim to have the Quran as our constitution. But we need to analyze our claims. If we claim to love Allah, where does it reflect on our limbs, in our actions? We claim to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where does it reflect in our actions? And this would give us a good way of reflecting upon our truthfulness and our sincerity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all that. Ameen. La ilaha
ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.